Hey everybody, I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about what it's like raising children on a homestead. And we have three daughters, and they're 8 and younger. And so it's definitely different than if we had boys, I know that for sure. But our girls are very outdoorsy, very much so. They like playing in the mud and getting dirty and everything else. And then they're also still little princesses that like to dress up and do all that fun stuff too. So it is different, obviously, if you have a boy or a girl. But for me, it's been a lot of fun to see them grow into this lifestyle. We did have a homestead for several years prior to moving to the downtown area where we bought our first home. But they basically lived the last 2 years of their life on a third of an acre. And we still did have rabbits and quail and grew microgreens and everything like that. So it was still a homestead-ish environment, but obviously very different than living on 40 acres out in the middle of nowhere with our sheep and animals and everything else. So it's been one of those things where it's been really cool to see them. My youngest is running up right now barefoot. It's been really cool to see them kind of grow into this part of their life. There are definitely challenges and definitely, things that they've had to get used to that they were used to having, like, basically a lot of family and friends very close by back in Florida, and obviously now we have no family up here, but we have a lot of friends that have basically become family. So they still have a lot of friends that they can hang out with and play with and everything else that we do see on a regular basis. So that really hasn't changed all that much. I do notice that my kids are a lot less stressed out appearing. Now, when I say stressed out, like, my kids were not stressed out in Florida. They were not under a lot of pressure or anything like that. I mean, we homeschool, and I am not like super drill sergeant about homeschooling. I guess we do homeschool a little bit every single day, but a lot of it is exploratory learning. We do have workbooks and stuff that we use for, like, language arts and math and things like that. But, science and stuff, man, that's basically done outside. So it's more so that I've noticed that my kids are more calm. I guess I should say it that way. Not that they were ever stressed out, but that they're more calm. They're more relaxed. They're more laid back than they were in Florida. And now I will say that they are still plenty argumentative. They still argue. They still bicker. They still get in fights with each other and everything else. I've been having to deal with that a lot lately, actually, is my two oldest bickering a lot. And then my youngest has become quite whiny. She has become a three-nager for sure. But it's, they're kids. You got to deal with that at any point in their lives, and regardless of where you live. But it's been cool because, like, we have horses actually over here right now. Our horses are on the fence line. My kids are up in the fort playing and everything else. I just told you that my youngest walked by here barefoot and everything else. She loves being barefoot. And so it's one of those things where it's been really cool to see them be able to just have this kind of freedom to explore and to learn in their environment and to just be kids, like go out and play in the creek and get wet, or climb in the fort and be in the trees. And right now they're collecting sticks for a bonfire we're going to have later and everything else. And so it's one of those things where it's been really cool to see them just grow and learn and explore. Now, when I am homesteading, and because my husband does work and does travel sometimes for work, there's definitely kind of more of the rule of, like, the morning and early afternoon is free time. They run around, they play, they explore, they watch movies, they play with their toys, whatever they want to do. That's kind of their free time to do whatever. But come the afternoon, after lunchtime, that's our school time. That's when we actually do sit down and do the, dedicated language arts workbooks, the math books, and everything else for their learning. And, they have to read every day. And we have a little reading chart that I've created that if they read every day of the month, they get a, prize or something. And it's actually worked out really nicely. It's actually made them read. They went from, like, barely ever reading to literally reading every single day. And obviously their word recognition has gone through the roof since then. And so it's been really cool to be able to implement that as well. But we do have a schedule here. Now, sometimes that schedule goes all to heck if something comes up on the property. But basically, they play, they have fun, they explore in the morning and the afternoon, early afternoon. We eat lunch, then we do schoolwork, and then after they're done with their schoolwork, which only usually takes a couple hours total for all three of them, after that they go back to playing, and then I do some more work probably around the house some, and then or around the camper, and then we start on dinner, and we just hang out and spend time together as a family. And even in the mornings when they're playing and they have their free time, a lot of times I am doing stuff around the property or making these videos or something like that, but also hanging out with them too. I just sat and talked with them and played some Legos with my youngest just a little bit ago, and then I was like, you know what, I need to do videos. Let's I'm gonna go do a video now, and now she's playing with her sisters. So it's one of those things where it's really cool. And the nice thing about this lifestyle, especially with homeschooling, is you can set your own schedule, you can set your own timeline, you can set the projects that I have to do today on the property. The kids are aware of it and they know how to handle that. We actually do have radios that we have where if I have to do work, farther out in the field or up in the woods or something like that, if there's work that I have to do where I'm not necessarily right next to them, we have radios that we can communicate with each other with. And my children are absolutely mature enough that I can leave them alone for a while and I don't have to worry about them. All three of them. My two oldest will absolutely be able to take care of things. They know how to make lunch. They know how to make breakfast. My oldest is now learning how to make dinners because she wants to. I am very blessed with a miniature mommy out of actually both of my oldest children. And even my youngest, she's actually stepping up a lot and wanting to help out a lot more. And she's only 3. So I am blessed actually with very, very mature daughters. And so I know that's not the situation for everybody. Not everybody can leave their kids basically unattended for a period of time. But I know I can. Now, I don't leave them unattended around lakes or ponds or anything like that. Like, they're inside the camper playing. Like, they only have a certain set of toys that they can actually even play with right now inside the camper, because we rotate out with the stuff that's in storage. So they only have a certain set of toys they can play with anyways. So I know what they're playing with, and I know I've told them when they can eat and everything like that. And like I said, we have the radios. If they start bickering, they'll radio me and say, Mom, we're starting to fight. And I'm like, okay. And then I just come back and do whatever and take care of the stuff. But it's cool because I have noticed my children having that ability to be more mature and ability to have some sort of personal responsibility. And I know they're still young, and I know I can't put too much on them right now, which I don't plan on doing, but it's cool to see how much they have grown and matured since being here, because I can't be hovering over them all the time. I have to do certain yard work. I have to do, work with the sheep, or, work out in the field, or do whatever, planting plants and stuff. And while yes, they can absolutely help me, and they absolutely have. When my husband was gone for 2 weeks, I can't even tell you how much help my oldest provided me with moving the sheep. And even my middle daughter was helping me move fencing and everything else, and, being little shepherds or shepherdesses, and stuff like that. So they help with the animals and they help me with some of these chores. But then there's some chores that they just let them have fun and be kids. They don't need to help me with certain chores. But it's just very cool to see them and to see this growth. And it's really fun to have them in this lifestyle. And I know they do enjoy it. I know they enjoy the freedom that they do have and the ability to go kind of wherever they'd like to a certain extent on the property. They do have certain areas they're allowed to go, and then certain areas they're not allowed to go. Like, they're not allowed to go in the backwoods by themselves. That is absolutely against the rules. And they're not allowed to go in the front field without a radio. And for the most part, they honestly just stick up around the camper to begin with. And we do have one really great dog. Our dog Ezra. Literally, a kid walks away from the house and he's walking with them, and he's half Anatolian Shepherd, so he's a big black dog. So if I see him out in the field, and I know my kids are out in the field, I know that he's within 15 feet of my child or children. Like, right now, he's literally laying on his back next to my 3-year-old, just chilling while she's playing in the dirt. Like, I'm watching them right now. And mind you, my 2 oldest are in the fort right above him, so he is literally right next to them, protecting them. He's a very good protector. So it's just one of those things where it's a very cool experience. I definitely wish that everybody could have this kind of experience to a certain level. I know not everybody wants 40 acres, but it's very cool, guys. It's wonderful to have this ability to have this kind of freedom with your family and to see them grow and learn and just excel. My kids are excelling so much more here than they were in Florida. And I think, quite honestly, both my husband and I are too. And so it's a lot of fun. It's definitely different. It's a different way of life. It's a different you know, there's definitely different things I've had to teach my kids since being here, especially things about responsibility and safety and everything else. But it's cool, guys. They learn, they pick it up, and they have fun and they have a good time. And while it's not always sunshine and roses, because, you know, they're kids, they're going to fight, they're going to bicker and argue and everything else, it's very cool. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of insight. I know a lot of times I talk more about the muck boots part of the channel versus the motherhood, but this is the motherhood side, and it's pretty dang cool. And I enjoy it 99.9% of the time. When they bicker and argue, I don't really enjoy it all that much, but that's part of motherhood. You just gotta deal with it. So, all right, guys, hope you have a great day. Enjoy your time with your own kiddos, and you know, have fun with them. They're only little ones, so just enjoy. All right, talk to you later. Bye.